Hi, everybody. Sorry. My laptop is old. And so if it becomes unplugged for an extended period of time, it dies. And I hadn't noticed that it had come unplugged. So it just went all black. And I was like, no, 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 fuck, fuck, fuck. And I looked and it was partially unplugged, and I was like, no. It's just what happens. I'll get a new computer. We're building one soon. I'll put the parts up on my throne and talk to you guys about it. Maybe it'll be here by Christmas. But sorry about that, you guys. We're back here now. Although I don't think I started up this program. Let's make sure that that's working first. All right. Sorry. We'll continue with the story here in just a second. Let me make sure my bonks are working. Hello? Can you load, please? Ah, dang it. Okay. Guess not. Okay. Okay. There we go. Fixed. I fixed it. Yeah. Hey, it's been a while. Yeah. I know, right? All right, let's get back to the story. Sorry for that momentary glitch, so to speak. Guess tonight's stream is 2 streams. It's fine. But we're talking about PDA. Oh yeah. Liam grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the door. Come on, let's get to school before your brother has any more bright ideas. He laughed, shaking his head at Jake. When we pulled into the parking lot, Liam winked at me in the mirror. I frowned out the window. There were more girls than usual, waiting for them. They all made a beeline for Liam as soon as his door opened. Jessica, as usual, was at the front. I chuckled at Liam at his apparent unease as we stepped out of the car. Good luck, I teased, winking at him as I walked off, swaying my behind on purpose. I knew he was watching me. When I got to the door, I glanced back over my shoulder to see him pulling a girl's arm off of him, a distasteful expression on his face. He must have had about 25 girls. Oh, this is kind of loud. Hold on. It was a lot louder than I wanted. Oh, but that's a lot quieter. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. He must have had about 25 girls around him. He looked extremely annoyed. I laughed and went to find my friends. As usual, they were hanging out by our lockers. Hey guys, I chirped as I got to them. Sean raised a quizzical eyebrow. Wow, someone's in a good mood today. Any particular reason? He asked. Nope, no reason in particular. I just watched Liam get hounded by about 25 girls, and he looks really annoyed by it, which is pretty funny. I explained, grinning widely. Just then, Liam walked past me with Jake. He had a girl flirting with him on either side, and about 10 walking behind him. I burst out laughing, and he shot me a dark look, making me laugh harder. I'm not surprised he has those girls after him. Do you know how much the pot is now? Kate asked, smirking at me. I nodded. Yeah, I know. Sarah told me it was like $1,800 or something. I can't believe it. I shook my head disapprovingly, trying not to imagine what it would feel like to win that much money. Kate, Sarah, and Sean exchanged a knowing look before bursting into laughter. Yeah, no, that was yesterday's total. Today, it's up to $4,200. 200, Kate said. I felt the color drain from my face as my heart sank. Holy crap, that's like, oh man, I can't even work that out. Like 200 girls, all wanting to sleep with my boyfriend. Oh God, really? I asked, swallowing the lump that was rapidly forming in my throat. The thought of those girls throwing themselves at my boy literally made me feel a little ill. Kate nodded, smiling sympathetically. And suddenly an audit, yes. That's like 2 Starbucks drinks. $4,000 is 2 Starbucks drinks, yes. That math works out perfectly, actually. It works out great. All right. Sarah and Sean had looked excited because they obviously had no idea I was with Liam. Luckily, the bell rang, so we all made our way to class. At lunchtime, I decided I would start making my play for Liam. At least. Yeah, at least. At lunchtime, I decided I would start making my play for Liam. People needed to at least see that I was trying. I couldn't just announce that I had slept with him, so the people needed to see me put in the effort. I hadn't talked it through with Liam, but a little harmless flirting over lunch shouldn't be too hard. As I carried my tray of food across the lunchroom to our usual table, I turned to my friends. Okay, guys, I'm going to make my play for Liam for the bet. Let's go sit with my brother today, all right? Kate gave me a knowing look and winked at me, and we all walked over to the popular senior table. The seats were almost full of girls, all of them flirting shamelessly with Liam. Thank you for the hydrate, King. Thank you, thank you. Give it to me. I smiled at his expression. He looked even more pissed off now than earlier. My gaze fell on the girl sitting next to him. She had finished her lunch and was staring at him intently, a dreamy expression on her face. I cleared my throat to get her attention. Hey, Sally, I just heard someone hit your car in the parking lot. Was there much damage? I asked innocently. She gasped and jumped up. Shit, that's my mom's car, she cried as she turned and ran off. Behind me, my friends all burst into fits of giggles as they took the empty seats further down the table. Hi, Liam. I smiled at him as I sank into the chair next to him. Hey, Angel, he replied, grinning at me. A quick glance around told me that I was already getting death glares from all the girls nearby because I had earned a smile already. Someone hit Sally's car? He asked, biting into his tuna sandwich. I shrugged and shook my head. Nah, I just said that because I wanted to sit here. He burst into laughter. I knew you wanted me, he teased, winking at me. Well, who doesn't? I answered, smirking and looking around the table at the girls who were all trying to kill me with their eyes. Having no real ideas on how to start flirting conversation off, I picked up my bottled water and pretending to struggle to open it. Liam, can you open this for me? I asked, pouting slightly. He grinned. Angel, if you keep pouting, the wind will change and it'll get stuck like that, he joked, instantly taking the bottle from me. He opened it easily and passed it back. Thanks, I smiled, ignoring his remark. Wow, I never realized how strong you are. You must work out a lot, huh? I purred, trailing my finger down his bicep, biting my lip seductively. His eyes were fixated on my mouth as he licked his bottom lip. When he didn't answer, I raised one eyebrow. So, do you work out a lot? Because you must. I mean, your body, I trailed off, looking over at him slowly. Can you open my water bottle? Yeah, exactly. That's how I was. Can you open my water bottle? That's why definitely, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh, uh-huh. That's exactly how that went. For sure. For sure. Um, he gulped. I guess, yeah, a bit, he muttered. He was unquestionably taken aback by my flirting. In all honesty, um, he looked a little bewildered, like he wasn't sure what he should do. Technically, I'd never flirted with him before, so his shock was happening now was clear on his face. Thank you for the hug, Reaper. Because I didn't want to take it too far today, I just set the scene for my victory. I broke eye contact and turned my attention to my food, and another idea hit me, so I let the fork linger in my mouth for longer than necessary. Oh, God, I moaned, closing my eyes and chewing slowly. This is so good, I breathed. Liam made me start a little moan from next to me, so I knew my pleasurable sounds were getting to him. Liam, you should try this, I purred seductively. He had a pained look across his face as he stared at me with his mouth slightly open. He shook his head slightly as if trying to push a thought away, and I swallowed my giggle. Oh, crap. I bet he makes me pay for this later. Uh, okay. Yeah, he agreed absentmindedly. I smiled and speared a couple pieces of pasta, guiding it into his mouth to feed him. Just as it got to his lips, a piece of pasta fell off and landed on his thigh. Oops, I'm so sorry. I winced, looking at him apologetically. Wow, I suck at flirting. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry about it, Angel, he smiled and brushed it off with his hand. Well, I can make this work to my advantage. I grabbed a napkin and wiped his jeans with it. It was on his mid-thigh, but I made sure to wipe a little higher as I looked at him through my eyelashes. I heard a gulp noisily as his body seemed to stiffen. There, all done, I flirted. Thanks, he muttered, closing his eyes and sighing. I grinned triumphantly. Ha! Take that, girls. I smirked proudly and noticed they were all staring at me. Either a shocked or angry expression was plastered on every single female face. I giggled and winked at Jessica, who had turned red with annoyance. I'd better go. I've got to speak to Mrs. Francis about my science project. I excused myself, getting up and smiling broadly. Liam grabbed my hand before I could go anywhere. What was that about? He asked, looking slightly confused. Pretty, no. Yes, but no. Oh, what's this? An itsy bitsy little piece of pasta fell on your crotch. Let me get that for you. Wow. Is that flirting? Is that what flirting is? Is that flirting? Because then I have a completely different idea of what flirting is. But hello, Kitty. Welcome in. I shrugged and grinned at him. Am I not allowed to be friendly to you, Liam? I mean, you are my brother's best friend after all. You're always hanging out at my house, so I just thought I'd be civil. Civil, right, he scoffed, rolling his eyes playfully. Flirtying-ish, getting cabe donned. Yeah. I didn't get cabe donned yesterday. There were several cabe dons done yesterday, though. I only took pictures of them. I did not and witnessed them. I was not a part of them. I winked at him and picked up my tray, heading over to my friends. As I walked past Jessica and the cheerleaders, I bent down to whisper in her ear, "Beat that." I teased, laughing wickedly. Thank you for the hug. Oh, it's for Kitty. It's for Kitty. Cutie. That's very cute. Kitty gets a hug. Yes, yes, yes. No, I got a hug earlier. Once we dumped all of our empty cartons in the trash, I looped my arm through Kate's and guided her to walk a little in front of Sarah and Sean. Kate, I think I need to go on the pill. Do you think they do the drop-in family clinic on Rose Street after school? I asked. She nodded in confirmation. I knew she would know. She had a little accident about a month ago with a broken condom and went there for the morning after pill. Yeah, from 4 to 8, she replied, glancing over her shoulder to make sure no one could hear us. So you're going to take the plunge, huh? I think it's great. You should definitely go on the pill. You want me to come with you? She asked casually. I knew she meant it. She was the bestest friend a girl could ask for. Nah, the flirting is, hey, baby girl, got a map and I could borrow because I just got lost in your eyes. Ah, that was good. That's a good line. That's a good line. That's a good line. I'm gonna keep that in my pocket. Hey, girl, do you have a map? Because I'm getting lost in your eyes. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's pretty good. All right, let's see. I think it's a good. Just like I have Cho Girl, I got my library card and I'm checking you out. Or like, hey, girl, your feet tired? Cause you've been running through my mind all day. You know. Like those. Those are funny. I do those back and forth to my friends. Cause I think it's funny. I think it's funny. I'm not ready for that yet. I just don't want to get caught short or anything. You don't mind coming with me, though. I'd really appreciate it, I admitted, looking at her gratefully. Hold on. I adjusted that too much. Yes. Okay. I was a little nervous about going on my own, and I didn't feel right asking Liam to come. It wasn't exactly a guy thing to do. Hey, baby, you'll have to tell me to look down since I can't help but stare into your eyes. Okay. I mean, no, I'd rather you just stare at my eyes. Hey, girl, you look so good with your glasses. Your eyes so pretty, they gotta be locked behind glass like diamonds. Hey, yo! My chat has all the riz. I love it. All right. I'm going to continue going, but you guys can keep shooting pickup lines in there if you really want. Of course not. You've been there with me loads of times, she said. I have my car today too. We don't even have to walk. I grinned. Thanks, Kate. I sighed happily. We made our way to our lockers, and I grabbed all the books that we needed for the afternoon, shoving them into my bag. I just need to tell Jake I'll meet him at home. I'll see you at class, I explained, turning the direction of Jake's locker. I spotted Jake and Liam chatting with some of their other friends from the team. Hey, guys, I chirped as I got up to them. They all looked at me. I knew some of the guys on the team liked me. It was obvious in the way that they stared at me. But no one ever made a move, though. That was probably Jake's doing. Hi, Amber. How are you? Casey asked, looking me over slowly. Good, thanks. You? I replied politely. All the better for seeing you, he smirked at me, but quickly winced when Jake punched him in the arm. Dude, little sister, Jake hissed. I chuckled to myself, shaking my head. Jake, I just wanted to tell you that I won't be coming home with you tonight. Kate needs me to do something with her after school, so I'll just see you at home later. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said, smiling. From the corner of my eye, I see Liam's brows furrow. Well, I'm working tonight, so it would have been Liam taking you home anyway, Jake replied, shrugging casually. I glanced at Liam. That explained the disappointed expression. Right, yeah, I forgot. Well, I'm sorry I'll miss that. I smiled and turned to walk off before stopping again as idea formed in my head. I turned back and grinned. Oh, and by the way, Liam, the pot stands at over 4,000 bucks now. That's over 200 girls. His eyes went wide. No shit, he asked, looking shocked, quite frankly, a little scared. Jake was laughing his ass off, and the other boys were looking around like us like we had gone crazy. No shit, I confirmed, winking at Liam and walking away. I wink. Oh, don't stutter. After school, Kate drove us to the family planning clinic. I took a number. Because I haven't been there before, I had to fill out tons of forms about my personal history, current sex life, and medical history. After about an hour of waiting, I was called through the white, sterile-looking room where a lady was waiting for me there. Hi, Amber, come on in, she said, smiling as she pointed at the chair. Hi, I croaked, sitting as instructed. You don't have to be nervous. I'm not going to bite. She chuckled. What can I do for you today? She asked, flipping through the forms that I had filled in. Well, my boyfriend and I are getting pretty serious and are talking about having sex, so I wanted to go on the pill. Is that something I can do here, or do I need to go to my own doctor? I asked, playing with my hands, blushing. She smiled kindly. You certainly can do that here. It says here that you're a virgin, flipping through my forms again. Yeah, I am. I blushed harder. Wishing the ground could open and swallow me up. Only sometimes, Reaper. Only sometimes. And it's kind of rare. But yeah, I do bite. But rarely. You don't need to be embarrassed, Amber. I think it's great that you're here. I see so many young girls who don't think that they're going on the pill until it's too late. It's refreshing to have a young girl being so responsible, she stated, patting my hand. I breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. I thought I was going to go get a lecture as to why I shouldn't be having sex at my age and how I should be waiting. Okay, I just need to get some information like blood pressure and weight and such. And then we can talk about which one will suit you best, all right? After I had done my blood pressure and weight and worked out my BMI, we sat down near her desk, which is not medically relevant, by the way. That's not a tool that should be used in the medical field. It means nothing. Right. Well, I recommend that you go for the combination pill. You take it every day at the same time each day for 3 weeks. And then you don't take it for a week, and which will be when you have your period. It's very effective, and it's what most girls go for, she explained, smiling. I nodded and smiled because everything seemed to be falling into place. Hold on. Wow, I'm sorry. You know how, like, sometimes when your throat touches itself in a weird way and it makes it tickly? That's what just happened, and it was really sudden. It was like, oh, hey, you're just gonna, like, have a coughing fit right now. And I was like, I'm not even sick. You're just being dramatic. Okay. Um, she grabbed her pad. I nodded and smiled because everything seemed to be falling into place. That sounds good. She grabbed her pad and scribbled a prescription. You can get it filed right next door. You can get it filled right next door. I've given you a 3-month supply so I can check how you get on. And then next time, if that's okay, then we'll go for 6 months, she explained. Yeah, thank you. I smiled gratefully because she had made this much easier on me than I thought it would be. So I'll give you a leaflet to read. But the important things to know are you have to take it the same time every day, and you have to take it every day apart from your week off, she smiled, and hand me the prescription. Make sure you've read the leaflet about what to do if you miss one or you vomit after taking it, because then it can stop working. And I'll give you some of these to keep you safe until you're in the swing of your pill. Okay? She grabbed a handful of condoms from a box and put them in a brown bag for me. Oh, thanks, I mumbled, taking them gratefully. I'll see you in 3 months. She stood up and motioned toward the door, signaling at the end of the appointment. I smiled gratefully. Thank you so much. I walked out the door, grinning from ear to ear. That had been a lot easier than I thought it would be. Hey, how'd it go? Kate asked as I stepped into the waiting room. Yeah, great. I need to go fill my prescription, then I'm all set. I linked my arm with hers, pulling her toward the door. Wow, I can't believe we're going to have sex with Liam James, she squealed excitedly. Not yet, I'm not. I need to know he can wait for me. I'm not ready for that yet, I clarified quickly. He'll wait for you. He looks like he's crazy about you. Kate smiled happily and I sighed. I really hoped that was true. Once my prescription was filled, Kate dropped me back home. The house was quiet because Jake was still at work, so I made myself a sandwich and sat at the table to do my homework. When I finished, glanced at the clock. It was only 8 o'clock. I had another hour until Jake came home. My thoughts automatically turned to my boyfriend. I grinned, grabbed my phone, dialing Liam, barely able to contain my excitement. Hey, Angel, he answered, sounding ridiculously happy. Hi, want to come over? I asked, chewing my lip in anticipation. Hell yeah, I'll be right there, he answered and disconnected the call. I ran to my room so I could check my hair. I laughed to myself when I realized that I had turned into one of those girls who thought they had to look perfect for him. I shook my head and decided to not do my hair after all, because he had seen me at my worst and still loved me. Just as I walked back into the lounge, he let himself in the front door. Hi, I grinned. He crossed the room in an instant, sweeping me into his arms and kissing me passionately. I grinned against his lips as my stomach fluttered with excitement. After a while, he pulled back. Hi, he breathed, making me shiver with happiness. So, where were you? I missed you, he murmured, putting his face in my hair and breathing deeply. I giggled and pulled away. Wow, so you're some kind of creepy hair-smelling guy? I joked, grabbing his hand and guiding him over to the couch, pushing him down into a seat. He laughed and grabbed my waist, pulled me into his lap so I was straddling him. I missed you so much today. I like how he literally didn't respond to that. He's just like, yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm just going to ignore that comment real quick. I was like, all right. Ooh, her toes. Bleh. 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 Fingers are better. Anyway, there are more, what is it? More nerve endings in figures anyway. I feel like that makes more sense, but, that's just me. I'm just not a big feet person, because feet are dirty and gross. Blech. They're dirty and gross. Blech. But I do not put down if anybody has a foot fetish. If you have a foot fetish, that's totally fine. It is just not my cup of tea, like, at all. But, you do you, boo-boo, I mean, I'm not opposed to tummy or thighs either. I was just thinking appendages outside of that. Okay. I miss seeing you so much today. I hated seeing you and not being able to touch you. Also, what the hell was that at lunchtime? Do you enjoy teasing the crap out of me? He asked, frowning. Thigh supremacy. That's fine. I've got some thick fucking thighs. I got some thick thighs, Chad. Like, that's why I tried to make my model as similar to my own body shape as possible. The boobs are a little bigger. I'm not going to lie to you, Chad. They're a little bigger than in real life. But everything else is pretty accurate. Yeah, sure, Reaper. I giggled guiltily as I threaded my fingers into the back of his silky hair. I have to set the scene for my victory. I can't just walk up to Jessica, be like, yeah, I won the bet, can I? I asked innocently. He shook his head, still frowning. But that was over the top. Do you know how hard that was for me not to jump you? He joked. I nodded and bit my lips so I didn't laugh. Oh, yeah, I could tell that was hard for you, I teased, raising my eyebrows knowingly. Like how I said I did that before I read that. That's funny. He chuckled. Whatever. Where did you go anyway? I was hoping to spend some time with you tonight. He pulled me closer to him and kissed down my neck, making me bite my lip as my skin broke out in goosebumps. I pulled away and stood up, walking over to my school bag to get a brown bag from the clinic. I sat back on his lap and held the bag out for him to take. He looked at me confused, and then looked in the bag, and his face turned to confusion, to understanding, to happiness, and then finally settled on being annoyed. You went to do this on your own? He asked, frowning at me angrily. I shook my head, a little confused by his reaction. I didn't go on my own. Kate went with me, I corrected, wrapping my arms around his neck again. Why didn't you tell me? I would have come with you, he said, pulling me closer to him, the annoyed expression still on his face. Liam, I thought that, it's not really a place where you take your boyfriend. I wanted to go on the pill. Kate offered to come with me. I shrugged. I didn't actually see why he was so annoyed about it. He sighed deeply. Angel, I love you. I would have come with you. I wish you'd told me, he said, looking at me sadly. What difference does it make? I didn't think you'd want to go, I muttered, confused. Why the heck is he all hurt and annoyed? I just went on the pill so I could have sex with him. Shouldn't he be happy about that fact? You didn't think I would want to go? Angel, this is about me too. I want us to do things together. We're a couple, a team. I feel a little hurt you'd think I wouldn't want to go, he explained, leaning forward and planting a soft kiss on my forehead. Oops. Liam, I'm sorry, honestly. I really didn't think about that. I just thought most guys wouldn't be interested. I thought you'd be pleased that I took some initiative, I explained, looking at him apologetically, begging him with my eyes to understand that I didn't mean to hurt him. I am pleased you took the initiative, but the thing is, I'm not most guys. I love you. Most guys aren't in love with their girlfriends like I am. This was a big thing for you to do, and I should have been there for you, he countered, stroking my cheek with his fingertip. I took in a breath as guilt settled in the pit of my stomach. I hadn't thought about it like that. I'm sorry I didn't tell you or ask you to come with me. I have to go back in 3 months for a checkup. Want to come with me then? I asked, smiling, putting my forehead to his. He laughed wickedly. Nah, it's not really my thing, he teased, turning his nose up and shrugging. I gasped and slapped his shoulder. Asshole, I muttered jokingly, making him laugh harder. I pushed him down on the sofa and settled myself on top of him, kissing him. By the time I pulled away, we were both breathing heavily. He stared at me lustfully, and I could feel he was a little more excited already. I gulped, praying that I hadn't given him the wrong impression by arranging contraception. Liam, just because I'm going on the pill doesn't mean I'm ready for anything more. You know that, right? I asked, grimacing, hoping that I hadn't built his hopes up, and now he was going to be expecting this. He smiled and reached out, tucking my hair behind my ear. I know that. It's fine. We'll go as slow as you want, as long as I still get to do this. He pulled my face back down to his again. I smiled against his lips and felt happier than I had been in years. In the back of my mind, I prayed that I would be ready soon before he got bored or desperate and went chasing after someone like Jessica. Oh, hello, Ira. Welcome in. Oh, you were also on Team Thighs? Also on Team Thighs? Interesting. That should be a poll I'll put in my thing. I'll be like, all right, what do we like the most? Too bad you guys didn't get the stretch goal with the thigh pick. Then you guys would have gotten a thigh break immersion break. That would have been interesting. After making out and cuddling for about an hour, a car pulled up outside and headlights shone through the window. Damn it, that must be Jake's ride, I whispered, trying to push myself away from Liam. I sat up, smoothing my hair, hoping it didn't look like we had been fooling around for the last hour. It's the same book, silly. I'm okay. I had fun yesterday, but my mental health is not super great. So I warned that I might be streaming a little less in the next couple weeks leading up to TwitchCon. We'll see though. I might do the other way and like throw myself into work, we'll see. Throw myself into streaming. So it might be like I knock out like 3, of the stuff that I owe you guys, It's okay. It's okay. Thank you for the head pats, King. It's okay, Ira. We try our best and we do it with what we can. So we do with what we can. Liam laughed and pulled me back down on the couch with him. Jake can handle this. Come on. He has to get used to it eventually. He's going to see us kiss from time to time, he insisted. Yeah, so that's the thing is like I don't know what's going to make me feel better, Thank you, Ira. I appreciate it. Cuz I like streaming for you guys, so that might improve my mental health and, and not necessarily distract me because I'll be processing on the off time, but give me something else to do so I don't sit and wallow in anxious thoughts. You know what I mean? Because when you have time to yourself, because I'm taking a little bit of a break from specific social medias, that I'm just going to have more time to myself to sit and think about stuff and stew in it. And I feel like using that time would be better spent to doing something that makes you guys happy. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Ira. All right. The front door opened, and Liam turned to look, a smile playing on the edge of his lips. I actually think he was enjoying teasing Jake. Jake groaned. Oh, come on, guys. Seriously, what did I say this morning about PDA? He whined, slinging his keys onto the table. Liam rolled his eyes as he sat up, pulling me up to sit next to him. Better? Jake sighed and rolled his eyes, too. I'll get used to it, I guess. Yeah, rip Jake. He grumbled. Liam grinned at me, and I couldn't help but smile back. Jake sat himself on the sofa opposite, looking at us grumpily as he folded his arms across his chest. I laughed at his disgruntled expression and stood up. I'm going to go do my homework. You boys can entertain yourselves for a while, right? I smirked at them both in turn. I had a feeling that they needed a little boy bonding time. After the revelations last night, Jake and Liam were best friends after all. Liam grinned and nodded. Yeah, want to play Halo? He asked excitedly. The anger and annoyance evaporated from Jake's face as he jumped up and headed towards the game console. I smiled at myself happily. Yep, they're back to normal. She could be entertained by both of them at the same time. One of them is her brother. One of them is her brother. Please no. Please no. No, no, no. It's okay. Claire. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. King, we're not in Alabama. We're not in Alabama. We're not in Arkansas. That's not how this works. That is a giant Sprinkles. Sprinkles is so big. Yeah, no, 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 no. Kitty, no, no, no. Yeah. On the way back to my room, I made sure to pick up the little brown bag from the floor. Jake tolerated the relationship, but I have a feeling that bag and its contents would catapult his disapproval into space. I had already done my homework, so I decided to have a nice long soak in the bath would be good. I ran a bath and added lots of bubbles before grabbing a book and settling into the tub. I lost myself in the story. I was so engrossed in the story that I didn't hear the door open. Now that's sexy, Liam purred from right next to me. Really? Really? Not. No, 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 no. No. There's a reason you're not supposed to mate with the people who are a similar DNA match to you. Is because genes mutate in a really, really weird way and you get weird diseases. Don't do it. PSA, chat. Incest is bad. Even if the British royal family does it, King. In fact, that actually probably makes it worse. I know it is, and it's weird. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I know. I don't understand, and I don't think I'll ever understand. I was engrossed in my story that I didn't hear the door open. Now that's sexy, Liam purred from right next to me. I screamed and almost dropped my book in the water. Shit! You scared the crap out of me, Liam, I cried, trying to slow my heart that was trying to break into my ribs. But we're all technically family. Get out of here. We are not all technically family, gang. No. No. Not in that sense. I cried slowly, trying to slow my heart that was trying to break from my ribs. I brought my knees up to my chest, trying to cover myself so he couldn't see anything inappropriate. Luckily for me, there were still quite a few bubbles. Agree, Ira. I don't like that. It just reminds me of do you guys remember Karen from Mean Girls like getting really into like dating her cousin or whatever his name was? I don't know what his name is. What Shane something. I think it's a mix of taboo as well as being around one another for a long time. A psychological trick I learned is if you stand into a person's eyes for a long time, and it's a fun and comfy setting, they will have more positive attitude towards you or even interest in you, all because of the eye contact. Yeah, but then you have people who are like autistic, like me. I have a little bit of the tism, and unless I know you like really personally, I do not like staring you in the eyes. It's a little unsettling. But yeah, like I'm not a big fan. And if I'm like looking you in the eyes, Like when people talk, I look at their like mouth or like around their face a little bit. Mostly their mouth though. So like I can like doubly understand what they're saying because I also have audio processing issues. So like sometimes when people are talking and I'm not facing them, like I don't exactly hear what they say. Um yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But like it's not that I'm like deaf or anything. I can hear them talking something, but instead of being like, "Oh my God, how are you?" It sounds like, "Yeah, how are you?" I'm like, "Huh? What did you just say?" No. Yeah. Sprinkles has the same problem. Um, he laughed. Sorry, hey, can I get in? He teased as he knelt down next to me and put his fingers in the bath. He pulled them out quickly and shook his head. Never mind, that's frickin' freezing. He frowned and dried his hand on the towel. Liam, will you get out of here? This isn't funny, I squirmed, blushing. He grinned his cocky little smile and bent over to kiss my lips just for a split second before he turned and walked back out the door. I was kidding. I actually didn't realize you were in here. You should get out, though. That water is really cold. Have you been in there all this time? He asked, shaking his head. It is a bit cold, I admitted. Literally, though, like, I wish I had nothing going on behind these eyes. That is not the case. There's probably a song and it's not even the full song. It's probably like 15 seconds of the song looping repeatedly in my head. Oh no, it happened again. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I wish I could empty my mind. That would be great. But like I'd have that like 15-second thing going. I have 15 seconds of music going, and then I would have like probably like thinking about what I'm supposed to do tomorrow, but also thinking about like the way that this tag that I forgot to cut off my shirt feels against my skin, but also thinking if my anxiety kicks in and is like, oh, I wonder if this person even wants to be talking to me right now. I bet I'm really annoying. I bet they like really don't want to be here right now, like type of thing. Like that's all happening at the same time within like 2 seconds. Chippy chippy choppa choppa looby looby laba laba boom boom boom. Yeah, that one. Now that I was out of the story, I didn't even realize that the bath was stone cold and I had goosebumps all over. Liam smiled. I'll wait in your room for you. He turned and left, closing the door behind him. I pulled the plug out and threw my book to the side as I stood up. Grabbing the towel off the side, I wrapped it around tightly. I realized as I climbed out of the tub, I hadn't brought any clothes with me to get changed into. I was actually extremely cold now, and my teeth were chattering. I could stay in here all night, and I just have to go. Sorry. I'd have to stay. I couldn't stay in here all night. I just have to go and get some pajamas. It was no big deal. Liam had seen me in a towel before. As I padded up the hallway towards my bedroom, I silently wished that I had just had a shower in my ensuite instead and read in bed. If I had done that, I wouldn't be facing this half-naked embarrassment situation. Okay, girl, you're telling me. Did you walk in a towel to the bathroom with your book and you were already naked, and then Either that or she just walked naked. Just through the hallway, which, like, I guess is fine, but, like, yeah, you know what I mean? I would have been wearing my clothes and disrobed when I got to the bathroom and had my towel with me. I could leave the bathroom in a towel, like, that makes sense, but, like, walking to, you know what I mean? I just have to go and put some pajamas. It was no big deal. Liam had seen me in a towel before. As I padded up the hallway toward my bedroom, I silently wished that I had just had a shower in my ensuite instead of and read in my bed. If I had done that, I wouldn't be facing this half-naked embarrassment situation. Yeah, I get it. I don't do that, but, like, that's not weird to me, you know? Um, when I stepped into my bedroom, I saw Liam stretched out on my bed, looking at the picture, looking the picture of ease. Hey, I muttered uncomfortably as I quickly headed over to my pajama drawer and pulled out a pair of shorts on under the towel. He sat up, shaking his head in disapproval. Geez, Angel, you could have gotten hypothermia or something, he scolded, looking at me worriedly. I mean, that makes sense too. Yeah. But also, she has her brother and her boyfriend. Like, I feel like I would have thought of that. You know? That's just me, though. She was in cold water. That's it. So he jumped off the bed and took my hand, tugging me over to the bed as I shivered. Sit there, he instructed before heading into the bathroom, coming back with another towel. My teeth chattered as I rubbed my arms and shoulders with a fresh towel, drying me quickly. But she only has shorts on right now, right? She didn't say anything, nothing about a shirt. So Liam is the boyfriend. Jake is the brother. Oh no. I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. Jake, they don't have a dog. They don't have a pet at all. It's not, Kitty. It's really not. You guys are fucking funny. Jesus Christ. Ah, okay. Well, that makes sense, though. I was glad I had decided not to wash my hair, instead, putting it in a messy bun. Otherwise, that would have made it even colder. Liam took my hands, putting each of my prune like fingertips into his mouth, warming them one at a time. Okay. I bit my lip, excited by each little move. Oh my god, that's sexy. Unable to stop myself, I bent my head and kissed him, seeming to catch him by surprise. After a second or two, he responded, kissing me back. I sucked on his lips softly and he opened his mouth, allowing me to slip my tongue in. He moaned into the back of my throat and wrapped my arms around his neck, gripping his hair roughly. He pulled me into him, deepening the kiss. After what seemed like forever, but still wasn't long enough, he pulled away, breathing heavy. That's kind of not kinky. That's not kind of kinky. That's straight up all the kinky. But it's also not because it's kind of cute because, like, but why would you put it in your mouth? Why is that the first thing you think of? You're like, oh my God, my girlfriend's hands, her fingers are cold. Why don't I put them in my mouth? Like, okay. Okay. It is. And I can tell you that I most likely also have that. So that's fine, I guess. I mean, you didn't see me react, did you? Because I did quite, yeah. Quite viscerally, actually, when I read it. The oh my God, that's sexy is actually the book, but before that, yeah. Oh, you want to hold my hand, Brady? Mine are always cold in the winter. No, there's nothing wrong with it because I'm part of the group as well. So, like, absolutely nothing wrong with it. His lips didn't leave my skin, though. Instead, he kissed down my neck, sucking on the skin near my collarbone, making me gasp and squirm. I was still freezing cold, and my teeth started to chatter again, ruining the moment. He pulled back, laughing. Let's get you under the covers so you can get warm. He stood up, reaching for the bottom of his t-shirt before tugging it off in one smooth motion. My eyes widened as I stared at his sculpted chest. Oh, here, hold on. Nah, I hold necks. Sounds good to me. Yeah, that's nice too. I like hand necklaces. They're nice. I wouldn't say fingers in mouth is sexy. Well, not in the way the book said. Certain this message has been redacted to save King Prod's perception of say-so-ness. Whatever you say, King. Whatever you say. I mean, neck holding is good. It is what it is. It really is. My eyes widened, and as I stared at his sculpted chest, I felt movement, and my vision went black for a few seconds, interrupting my ogling. I smiled as I realized he pulled his t-shirt over my head. I gulped noisily. Liam, if you want to make me hot, all you need to do is take your clothes off, I purred, biting my lip and looking at his chest and abs, running to run my tongue over them. Yeah. Yeah, don't do the front. The front's bad. That's bad. The sides is fine. Boys' night out and karaoke night. Dang, can I come? I love karaoke. He laughed and wrapped his arms around me. Angel, you couldn't possibly be any hotter. Trust me, that would be illegal. No, boys only. Why? I want to come. I'm good at karaoke. I don't I don't know about that. I think I could make a really pretty boy. Just saying. I get it, Bratty. I think I could make a really pretty boy. All right? Wrap the chest a little bit, you know. Yo. Hey Soku, welcome in. Welcome. Thank you for the first time chat. No, it would be like one of the Love and Deep Space boys, and they are not femboys. They are men with like abs and pecs and shit. What do you mean? No. I'd put a wig on, I'd have short hair. I'd deepen my voice like quite a bit. So instead of this, It would be like down here. Like I could totally pitch it down like this. Could this be a guy's voice? Because I could totally do that. Hi, Haru. Welcome back in. Yeah, my computer just decided to peace. Beware the femboy that's packing more than most macho buddies. That's what I'm saying, though, Kitty. That is true. But I might do some. Gender bent cosplays in the future. So we'll see how that goes. Of course. Of course. But you got to get like the swab. You got to get the Riz down. We back if you back. I am back. And I appreciate you coming back here because that was like not fun. I literally, the screen on my laptop went black and I was like, ugh. You love this song? I'm glad you love this song, Haru. If you can fool the boys, it's I could try, I could probably do it. My singing voice though, that I don't think I can. That one, because like I'm a tenor at best. At best. I mean at worst, I guess. Like at worst. Best, I don't know. It isn't hard to fool the boys. You just take away the boobies. And then they're suddenly like, oh, you could be man. That's fine. Fuck yeah, Bratty. Do it. Ah! Thank you for the Moon Magic Yeet coder. Thank you very much, Ocelot. And to Stretch as well. Thank you. I thought you were 20 or I don't know what that means. There's a lot of flat-chested women, so I wouldn't say it's easy to fool people. Eh. I just also have like my jawline is definitely like not a feminine feature. Like I definitely look like my dad. I don't like saying that, but I definitely look like my dad. I don't like it. a tenor, like the voice, like the voice part, you know, like a soprano, alto, tenor, bass. That's fine. Nothing I haven't seen or done before. I'll recruit you for my band, Haru. We'll have a cool band. I'll be the lead singer if that's all right. Thank you for the hydrate, Panda. And the stretch. We'll stretch again. Hold on. All right. Let's get back to the book. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. You can play the drums? Haru, what instruments can you play? He laughed and wrapped his arms around me. Angel, you couldn't possibly be any hotter, trust me. That would be illegal, he replied, kissing me again. I pulled the damp towel off and threw it on the floor as he picked me up. My legs instinctively wrapped around his waist as he carried me up to the pillow end and pulled the cover back. Climbing into bed with me, still attached to his front like a baby monkey. He pulled the covers completely up over our heads and pulled back to talk to me in semi-darkness. I missed you tonight. Why didn't you stay and play with us? He asked sulkily. I thought you and Jake needed a little time together. You still haven't really spoken to him on your own since you found out about us. And he's still your best friend. So you're just going to have to find a balance. You can't spend all of your time trying to get into my pants, I joked. But I love trying to get in your pants, he whined playfully. A girlish giggle escaped my lips. I was warming up now, his body heat pulsing into me and our hot breasts tangling under the duvet made it seem almost steamy under here. Then again, that might have just been the passion I felt burning inside me. I guess you're right. Jake was fine tonight. He actually said it was nice to see you happy. Which I took all the credit for, of course, he said cockily. All the credit? Wow, that's an inflated ego you have right there, I teased, smiling. He laughed and stroked the side of my face with the back of his fingers. You better not be naked with my little sister, James. Jake suddenly growled warningly from near the door. I gasped, and Liam jumped up before pulling the cover back over our heads and grinning guiltily at my brother. Oh, from near the door, so he did open the door. Jake, dude, a little more warning would be nice, Liam joked as Jake glared at him from the doorway. I scoffed and pushed the covers down further so Jake could see I had a shirt on. Oh, Jake, get a grip. What do you want? Have you ever heard of knocking? Kitty. Kitty, no. Kitty, no. Stop it. Stop it. No. Bad. I knocked. You just didn't hear me through all the flirting, he replied, smirking. We all laughed at that. Jake shook his head. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you, Ams, Mom is coming home on Sunday. I grinned excitedly. Yeah, awesome, I cried happily. Jake nodded, his smile matching mine. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to go to bed. Keep the noise down in here. I don't want to hear anything. I laughed and couldn't resist teasing him some more. Jake, you might want to borrow my iPod. We're warming up for the bed, I joked, winking at him. Liam burst out laughing, and Jake just scowled, shaking his head disapprovingly, closing the door behind him. Angel, you are just too funny, Liam said, kissing down my neck. Shut up, James, replying using his surname and mimicking Jake's tone perfectly. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Because that's the end of that chapter there. Yeah, you just didn't hear my knocking over you trying to knock up my sister. My sister. Ew. Ew. You guys stop. Blech, 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 blech. All right. Let me see. All right. I will let you guys have one more chapter, and then we're going to have to end it for tonight. So I'm thinking we have about maybe like 20 minutes left, and then we'll be done with reading for tonight, okay? I woke up in the morning with a huge smile on my face. Let's see. So if that's chapter 14 that I'm doing, chapter 14 is where we are. 24 plus an epilogue. So there's 20. Oh, sorry. I just swept that right across the fucking thing. Yeah, 24 plus an epilogue. And who's the main villain? The dad. The dad's the villain. We saw him at the beginning, and he will make a reappearance, unfortunately. Yeah. Amber and Jake's dad's the villain. He's a very villain. Blech. Chapter 14. I woke up in the morning with a huge smile on my face. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing, and I had woken up next to the world's most sexiest boy, who just happened to be in love with me. Just like in any teenage novel. Stop! I am reading the book. I am reading the book. Bratty. Just let me read the book. I smiled against his arm that I was laying on and pressed my back into him, feeling his hard chest press into my back where he was spooning me. We want more book, okay? You will get more book. You will get more book, okay? You will get more book, Fancy, I promise. But yeah, you'll get more book. Don't worry. You'll get more book, and then we'll just keep going with the series. It's fine. I mean, you can stay. You can like. You can. I get. Well, I'm. I mean, yeah. I'll respond to that saying yeah. I guess. Not super spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you how. Liam, I whispered, turning my head in his direction. His arms tightened around me as he slowly opened his eyes. Hey, he mumbled sleepily, lifting his head so he could kiss me. Wow, I love waking up knowing you're finally mine. He laid his head back down and sighed contentedly as I rolled to face him. I was like, how does that work? Interesting. He would have to go all the way around. That's okay. It was funny because I ended the Hunger Games with, I'm like, it ends on not such a good note. And then people are like, that's the end? No, I need to know if there's a happy ending. But here, okay. So can we tell people we're dating today? No, not today. I still need to do more prep work on that, I replied, running my hand down his chest, tracing the bumps of his muscles. He groaned. By prep work, you don't mean that you're going to flirt with me and make me horny as hell again like yesterday, do you? He asked, looking at me pleadingly. I chuckled, hiding my face in his shoulder. You'll have to wait and see, won't you? Oh, and I give you permission to touch me a little today if you want, I offered casually. I pushed myself up a little, propping my head on my elbow so I could see him better. A wicked grin crossed my face. Touch you. Like this, he whispered, his fingers trailing across my body slowly from my face, down to my neck, across my booba and my stomach. It doesn't say booba. I don't care about reading the word, but you guys are like, oh my God, sussy. Finally settling on the inside of my thigh. His hand was so close to my no-no square area that I couldn't help but have a small moan escape my lips. That one too, chesticles. That's a good one. He traced his fingertip along my leg, making me whimper like some sort of primal need built inside me. Don't, Liam, I begged. I said the words, but at the same time moved my hips unconsciously, trying to get closer to his hand. When the boobs boob boobily. Yeah, oh, Lord. The baby chamber? You did not just go, baby chamber. What the fuck? Baby chamber? The hell? You guys. You guys are weird. I love you guys. Chat, you're funny. He laughed, putting his lips so they were almost touching mine. Promise you won't tease me too hard today at school, he murmured against my lips as he moved his hand away from the outside of my thigh. I won't tease you too much. I can't promise you won't get hard, I teased, twisting his words. What's going on? Yeah, it's sus, don't worry. I thought we were more mature here. I see, so did I, Fancy. I'll read the book as written, but you guys were like, oh, scandalous. And I was like, you guys know that I did put warning that there were sexual themes in this book, because there are. We're good? Okay. I mean, I'll read the whole thing. That's fine. Here, let's go back. I'll read what I skipped over. All right? Watch. All right? His fingers trailed across my body slowly from face down to my neck, across my breasts and my stomach, finally settling on the inside of my thigh. His hands were so close to my core that I couldn't help with a little moan escape my lips. He traced his fingertips across my leg, making me whimper some sort of primal need that had been built inside me. Don't, Liam, I begged, and as I said the words, but at the same time, I moved my hips unconsciously, trying to get closer to his hand. An ankle, how scandalous. No, I don't really get embarrassed. No, I really don't. I don't really care too much about like that sort of stuff. But I know other people are a little more say so about it. I'm actually open and talking about all sorts of things that are on the less say so side of the spectrum. Of course, abiding by Twitch TOS, of course. But yes. Well, I mean that's fine. Then you have to sit with that. That's okay. You guys aren't right for then you guys aren't right for you guys aren't long for the spicy ASMR that I'm gonna be doing because there's gonna be sounds. There's gonna be sounds. There's gonna be sussy language. Like so maybe you guys shouldn't get to 75 subs. Just saying. You're at 14 now. I'm just saying. um Yeah, let's go. My kind of soup. Yeah. I don't think you should be scared. I guess I'm not nervous, but like I'm also kind of like, huh. Like, you know what I mean? I like how you have donated 10 gift subs though, Mega. You're like, let's get her there. Exactly, raccoon. All right. He crashed his lips into mine. I could feel he was smiling. You're such a damn tease. I don't even think you realize what you're doing to me, he growled, kissing my neck gently. I giggled, wrapping my arms around his neck as he kissed me back. He pulled away after a couple of minutes, just as I was getting into it. I'd better go. He kissed me again as he climbed out of bed. I resisted the urge to pout. I actually didn't want him to leave. Okay, I'll see you in a bit, I replied, watch as he pulled on his clothes. He winked at me as he climbed out of my window, heading back to his house. Sounds good. Yeah, I was saying this is the last chapter anyway. And that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be me reading books to send you to sleep. You know, have sweet, unsay so dreams. It was a joke, by the way, chat. I'm kidding. I'm literally kidding. Good night, Brady. Me too. Even though Jake knew, Liam still needed to keep up his pretense for his parents. He couldn't exactly be seen leaving through the front door when he was supposed to be in his own bed, so the sneaking over charade would have to charade. Wow, why did I read it that way? Oh, I'm not sleeping yet. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brady. Sorry, I assumed you were sleeping. Sorry. I climbed out of bed and skipped over to the bathroom for a shower. When I was dry, I stood there looking through my closet for a long time. I needed something different to wear today. I wanted Liam to look like he really wanted me in front of everyone because I didn't want to keep lying about our relationship. I pulled out a denim miniskirt with a plain V-neck short sleeve top. I smiled as I looked at the outfit. This would surely work. I got dressed and looked at my reflection in the mirror. This ish is super tame. If this ish couldn't cause someone to have unsay-so dreams, yeah. Yeah, I wish I could not have dreams. Okay, good to know. Good to know, Fancy. I'll be sure to lock that away. Be sure to lock that away in my brain. Not that it really matters. Jorts are good. Jorts. I was thinking Daisy Dukes. The skirt was short, but not too short, that it looked like one of those skanks. Well, the top was fitted, but not too much. Just a hint at what was underneath. What's a hint? Could you see your underwear? Like, I wear that often. Ira, I wear that outfit often. Like they're like thigh-high socks too. They're usually black or gray most of the time. Sorry, sorry, Ira. I don't know. Maybe one day when my immersion break in my Discord, by the way, join my Discord with exclamation point Discord. Yeah, maybe outline. Ah, I see. If you want to join my Discord, there's my Discord. I will be setting up an immersion break page where you'll have to react with a role. And you'll be able to see content that is, is behind the scenes, is when I'm not streaming what I look like, Thank you for the hydrate. I grinned and pulled on a pair of ballet flats, completing the outfit. Man, you're not gonna even wear heels? Come on. Thank you for the head pats, Mega. Thank you. I grabbed the little bag that I got from Family Planning Clinic and pulled out the box of pills. Scanning the packet, I found the first one and swallowed it quickly, smiling to myself. I skipped to the kitchen, and Liam was chatting with Jake with his back to me. There was already a bowl of cereal on the counter waiting for me. No, they're just flats. Like ballet flats is a style of shoe. It's a style of shoe. Like you can look it up. No, I think you're thinking about point shoes. Like ballet point shoes with like the box, like the uncomfortable like toe box. That's not what she's wearing. It's okay, Ira. Welcome. My heart melted into a puddle because of his thoughtfulness. Good morning, I chirped. Liam was just drinking a glass of water, and as he turned around, he almost choked. Jake slapped him on the back roughly, and I just laughed. Yep, that was the effect that I wanted. His eyes were wide and hungry as they looked me over slowly, making me blush as I imagined the thoughts he was having about my body. He still hadn't spoken. Liam, you want a picture? It'll last longer, I joked, eating my cereal. That seemed to snap him out of his private fantasy he was having. You're not wearing that today, are you? He asked, frowning. I looked at myself, wondering what he meant by that. I didn't look that slutty. Yeah? Why? I asked, confused. I thought he liked the outfit. He certainly looked like he did. He walked up and wrapped his arms around me from behind. Angel, how the hell am I supposed to concentrate all day knowing that my beautiful girlfriend looking Angel, how am I supposed to concentrate all day knowing that my beautiful girlfriend looks like a freaking sex goddess? Are you torturing me on purpose? He whined, kissing the side of my neck and running his hands up my exposed thighs. Sexy. Oh, I'm also. Thank you. Map Ash for the follow. Thank you. Thank you. Bruv down bad. He is down bad. Hi. Thank you for the first time chat. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome. All right. Indeed. Yeah, no, this bitch down bad. He down bad. Whipped. You know. I giggled and elbowed him in the stomach. Well, then you'll just have to exercise some control, won't you? I teased, pulling away quickly. He groaned and shook his head. You are so not playing fair. Wait, your name is Raccoon? Wait, really? Raccoon, you got cousin in chat. Yeah. The face. I just laughed and grabbed my bag. Ready to go, Jake? I asked, smiling at my brother, who looked like he was trying to ignore our little exchange, but failing miserably. Yeah, let's go before I'm forced to witness any more flirting, Jake agreed, gripping my shoulders and guiding me out of the house. The morning flew by, and finally lunchtime came around. Oh, mapache! Oh, mapache! Oh, okay. Mapache. That's so cute. Is that how you want it? Is that what you want to be called? Mapache? I can call you Mapache. That okay? I didn't know that Mapache was raccoon in Spanish. That's cute. Fancy's laughing at me. The morning flew by and finally lunchtime came around. I was so excited to see Liam that I couldn't stop smiling. What the hell is wrong with you? Sean asked, looking at me like I'd lost my mind. I shrugged. Nothing, just having a good day. Plus, I'm hungry and we're now going to go eat. I lied smoothly. You're going to make another move on Liam? Kate asked, smirking at me knowingly. I laughed. Oh, heck yeah. Just watch Jessica's face. I'm going to make him want me today. I grinned happily. This was going to be great, and Jessica was going to hate every second of it. No doubt about it, Kate agreed, laughing. A look of understanding crossed Sean's face. Oh, so that's what the skirt's for, he stated. I laughed and nodded. You think it'll work? I asked him, actually wanting his opinion. He nodded. Oh, yeah, it'll work. All the guys in school have been talking about your killer legs today. And I must say that even I, who am totally in love with my girlfriend, have checked you out, he admitted, shrugging. I slapped him on the shoulder playfully. Ew, that's gross, Sean. You're one of my best friends. Best friends don't perv on each other. That's a lie. That is lies and slander. If your friend doesn't perv on you, they're not really your friend. Like, if you're looking particularly hot and your friend's not all like, damn, girl, why you look so sexy? Like, they're not your friends, right? Exactly, Claire. Not exactly. It's called homosexual, exactly. All right. Actually, I've been checking you out too, Kate joked. Me too, Sarah added, making us all laugh harder. See? Get you besties who check you the fuck out when you're looking hot. It's what I'm saying. You need to tell your friends if they be looking good. Boost that. Boost that ego a little bit. Especially ladies who be looking like, I don't know, I like kind of feel like I look like a dumpster fire. Bitch, no. You look hot as fuck. Look at you, looking hot and sexy. God damn, bro. Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. Girl. Yeah. Exactly. So cool. That's what I'm saying. If your friends aren't hyping you up, gassing you up, telling you that you look good and like kind of hitting on you, improving on you, they're not your friends. They're not your friends. Very demure, very mindful, of course. All right, here we go. As we walked into the lunchroom laughing, I could feel some of the guys looking at me. Now that Sean had said something about it, I realized that I did have a lot more male attention today than normal. I hit on Monty all the time. Yeah. I just threaten him. So, yeah, Monty lives in my basement, along with Mason. And Reaper, do you live in my basement? I can't remember. I lose track. Like 4 people in my basement. We bought our food and made our way to our usual table. It was literally a joke, Brady. It's a joke. I live in a second floor apartment. I don't have a basement. Oh, good. Okay, yeah, I didn't think I'd change you up. You're very obedient, so I felt like chaining you up was useless. It didn't make sense. I'm literally kidding. I'm kidding. For legal reasons, this is a joke. You want to be chained up? That's fine. You want to be in my basement, Bratty? That's fine. If you're offering, yeah, you can come live in my basement, my non-existent basement. See? Thank you, Reaper. Fancy, you are right. Exactly. Everybody's like, ooh, yeah, but you can't see the outside world. You guys, chat, no, chat, no, chat, no. You can't all volunteer. You can't all volunteer to be in my basement. Me too, though. Um, we bought our food and made our way over to our usual table. I set my tray down and then nodded over my shoulder toward Liam where he was sat. I'll be right back, guys. No windows, no problem. Good deal. The only time I see the sun is when I go to idol events. That's fair. That's fair, Haru. No windows, no problem. Oh, I can share a bed with Monty. No! Ew, no! Ocelot, not you too. Yeah, no, Monty has visiting privileges. He's the only one that gets visiting privileges from people from the outside. Nobody else has visiting privileges. All right. I'll be right back, guys, I said, grinning. They sat down, watching me with curious eyes as I marched confidently over to Liam. As usual, there were about 10 girls hanging around him, flirting shamelessly. He looked like he was majorly pissed off. Seriously, Rebecca, if you touch me one more time, I'm going to speak to someone about it. This is bordering on sexual harassment, he growled, glaring at her and knocking her hand off his thigh. She looked extremely put out as she stood up and stormed off, and the rest of the girls were smirking at her back. You could practically read their thoughts on their faces. One less girl is competition. I stifled a giggle as I sat down at the table. Jake wasn't there, so I decided to make the most of it. I thank you for the emotional damage. That was clearly for Rebecca. Clearly Rebecca getting the emotional damage. Hi, Liam, I greeted, smiling at him seductively. His face lit up when he saw me. Hi, you had a good morning? He asked happily. I pouted and shook my head. His face dropped, and as he put his arm around my shoulder, looking at me concerned. What's wrong, Angel? Something happened? I stood up and perched on the table in front of him, propping one foot between his legs, resting on the bench. My foot was almost touching his crotch, but he didn't seem to notice. He was still studying my face worriedly. So she's sitting on the table right in front of him. Where is it? Did she push his food out of the way? Does he not have food? I'm trying to envision this right now. Hold on. I hurt my leg in gym class. It's really sore. Do I have a bruise? I asked, opening my leg slightly and pointing to my inner thigh. His eyes instantly dropped down to my legs. I'm betting he had a clear view of my panties because the pained and hungry expression crossed his face. I felt a little like a slut for doing that, but no one else could see what he was seeing otherwise. I wouldn't have done it. She is the food. Not in public, bro. Get this boy some milk. He put his hand on my calf muscle and slid it up slowly all the way up to my inner thigh, moaning quietly as he did it. No bruise, he replied in a sexy voice, making me burn and knead as his fingers worked deftly to massage my thigh. Azura is food. I am not food. I'm not shaming anything. Really? It's so sore. I lied, chewing my bottom lip. He smirked at me. His expression told me that he knew he was driving me crazy. How about you kiss it better for me? Thank you for the head pats kick and the health check. Wow, you're really putting a damper on this, aren't you? Hold on. I gotta get a stretch. Hold on. Getting cozy? Good. Bro, my boy's probably hungrier than the Walmart employee. Bark, bark, woof, woof. I suggested, raising my eyebrow, trying to look sexy. Some of the guys at the table groaned as they watched the exchange. Lust crossed Liam's face as he nodded with a sexy little smile and bent his head toward my leg. Just before his lips touched my skin, I moved my leg away. Actually, you better not. I thought you had a girlfriend, I teased. Yeah, she really did do that just now. He laughed and shook his head at me, narrowing his eyes, obviously disappointed he didn't kiss my leg in front of the whole school. I do have a girlfriend. I love her more than anything, he said, his voice full of honesty. I smiled as my heart melted. Well, you shouldn't be doing this then, huh? I teased, smirking at him, climbing down from off the table. I grabbed my lunch tray. It seems fine now. Maybe if it starts hurting later, I'll give you a call, I flirted. He groaned as I winked at him and walked off to the table with my friends. I could hear the boys all making slutty comments behind me, saying what a whore I was, and giggled. I giggled as at how they would definitely tap that. Oh, okay. How hot I was, how they would tap that and how much of a whore I was. Oh, ew. Okay. I giggled and plopped down at our table. Kate grinned at me knowingly. Sarah and Sean were watching me with their mouths wide open. You were so in there. I think you might win the bet, Sarah gushed, looking at me in awe. I couldn't help but laugh at her. She was regarding me like I was some sort of goddess or something. I could use $4,000, I admitted, laughing. I just hope Jessica actually paid when she realized I was his girlfriend all along. After eating, I was walking along with my group of friends when somebody grabbed my hand and jerked me to a stop. They're screaming that Yu-Gi-Oh! It should have been me thing. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. I squeaked a little shocked and turned to see Liam grinning at me as he dragged me into the nearest empty classroom. I giggled as I watched my friends walk off without me, not even noticing I wasn't behind them anymore. He closed the door and looked at me sternly, trying to pretend he was annoyed with me. There was no way I was falling for that. He enjoyed himself earlier, I could tell. Angel, that was way too much, he scolded as he stepped closer to me. I took a step back too, but I bumped into the wall behind me. Too much? I thought it was perfect, I replied playfully. He laughed and pressed his body into mine. You're pretty perfect. He brushed his hair away from my face gently. My hair away from my face, looking at me tenderly. I put my arm around him and pulled him closer. Then I slid my hands down to cop a feel on his behind. He smiled that sexy little smile at me and pressed his lips into mine gently. I whimpered slightly and pulled him closer, wanting more. He pulled away to kiss down my neck, letting his hands roam my body. When one hand slid under my skirt, tickling his fingers onto my thighs, I felt him gently sucking on my neck. I gasped, digging my fingers into his back. Liam, are you giving me a hickey? I giggled. He stopped sucking for a second and pulled his mouth away from my skin. I am branding you, he murmured, before dipping his head and sucking on the same spot again. After a few seconds, he pulled away, looking at it, inspecting his handiwork. He looked extremely proud of himself and was grinning from ear to ear. Right, and do I get to brand you? I teased. Sure, if you want to, he agreed. Bratty, the fuck? You're funny. Wilden chat. Shrugging, but actually looking a little hopeful. He's pressed his lips into mine, seemingly to set my body on fire. Geez, how on earth does he do this to me, I wondered. He was the only guy I'd kissed, yet here I was letting him put his hands on my ass. And I grinned as he tipped his head to one side, allowing me clear access to his neck. I'm going to bite it. Going to bite his neck. Because they brand the cattle. Oh, damn. I want to bite it. And bite his neck. See, look, I got little vampire teethies. I'm going to bite him. Just as my lips touched his skin, the bell rang. He groaned and pulled away, looking at me with cute puppy dog face again. Skip with me, he pleaded, pouting slightly. Skip with him, I groaned. I hated skipping school. It wasn't just me at all. Liam, I can't. I was torn. I genuinely wanted to spend time with him, but I couldn't bear the thought of my teachers knowing I missed class unnecessarily. Please, he begged, bending his knees so we were at the same height. This girl short like me, for real, for real. This girl short like me, for real, for real. His blue eyes were killing me. I couldn't say no to him. I sighed heavily. If I get caught, Then you're in deep trouble, I warned. If I got detention, I would make sure he got one too. He laughed, and a beautiful smile stretched across his face as he pulled out his cell phone, calling Jake, telling him I wasn't feeling well, so he was taking me home. Yeah, she's fine. No, she said she just feels a little dizzy, that's all. No, I got it. Okay, great. See ya. He put the phone into his pocket, grinning and shooting me a wink. He slid his phone back into his pocket and grabbed my hand, pulling me out of the classroom to his car. Jake's going to get a ride from someone else to work, so as long as I get you home by 9, he won't even know we skipped, he said, happily. I rolled my eyes at him. Wait, when you try to be kinky tease but you cause a zombie outbreak?
I'm not a zombie. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. See my cute teeth?
Wait, how zoom in can I can get really zoomed in, I feel like.
See, look. I got my teethies. See? And they bite. They go.
They do. You're not wrong. But.
I know. See? I got little teethies and they bite. Yummy.
No, not the arm. I'll fix it later. All right. Well then, Angel, what shall we do? Liam asked, pulling out of the parking lot quickly before anyone noticed us leaving. I shrugged easily. I don't mind, whatever you want. As long as it involves spending more time with him, I would do anything. Okay, that's better. Sorry. It was bugging me because I accidentally moved it. I need to lock it. Want me to take you skating again, he offered? Sure, why not? I need to change first, though. I'll get frostbite on my butt otherwise. I laughed as his eyes immediately dropped to my legs. On the way to my house, I texted Kate to tell her I was skipping. She asked to collect any work that I missed. When we pulled outside, Liam went to his house to get something he said he needed. I ran in and slipped on some jeans, ran a brush through my hair, and added a quick sweep of mascara. As I left my room, I grabbed a sweater so I didn't get cold. I ran back to the car, excited for some alone time with him. He smiled as I climbed in. Hey, brought you this, handing me one of his hoodies. I frowned at it, knowing I had one of my own. Thanks? The cheeky grin graced his face. It's for your peachy little ass. I told you I'd bring one next time so you don't get wet and cold like last time. Although I have every confidence that you'll be skating on your own by the end of the lesson, he boasts. Well, I'm not sure I want to skate if you're not touching me, I replied casually. He smiled. I never thought of that. Hopefully you won't catch on too quickly then. He wiggled his eyebrows at me, making me laugh. Skating was fun. He was right. I was a lot better this time. It was probably due to the fact that he's such a good teacher, and because we had spent almost all day there last time. Liam was immensely fun to be around. He skated backwards just like he did before, holding both my hands, making jokes and chatting. I only fell a few times. Each time he would break my fall or catch me or pull me up. He smiled broadly as we skated. My heart skipped a beat. He was so handsome, kind, and patient. I could feel myself falling for him, and I knew it wouldn't be long before I was head over heels. After a while, I slipped and skidded to a stop. Hey, how about you show off a little? I love to watch you skate, I suggested, gripping onto the side for dear life so he could let go of me. He kissed me quickly before skating off backwards. Suddenly, he turned sharply and skated forward so fast that it actually scared me. My heart was hammering in my chest at the sight of it. If he fell while skating like that, he would be seriously hurt. I thought of him being hurt terrified me. He did a few laps, showing me his skills like jumping, skating on one foot, and I had always loved to watch him skate. It looked so beautiful and graceful, and I had never really lusted after him for it until now. He looked incredibly sexy while he was skating, so powerful and masterful. Liam wanted to play hockey professionally, and he had already been scouted by numerous schools for next year. He had been offered a full athletic scholarship to a few places, but the one he chose was a really great school in Boston, which would mean he would be moving away in the fall. The time apart was going to kill me. I was going to have nightmares every night he wasn't there, not to mention the heartache I'd feel watching him leave. I hated the fact he'd be so far away and that girls would be falling all over him. I sighed, refusing to think about it. I needed to trust him, and I did. I trusted him entirely. I believed that he loved me and that he didn't want to hurt me. When he came back to me, he skidded to a stop, sending ice spray over the side. Is that showing off enough for you? He asked, wrapping his arms around my waist and pressing himself to me. Oh, yeah, my man can skate, all right, I confirmed, grinning at him. Say that again. I like that. He growled in a sexy, husky voice that made my insides tremble. I wrapped my arm tightly around his neck and pulled him in close. My man can skate, I purred seductively, looking in his eyes. I could feel the burning passion sizzling between us. He bent his knees so we were on the same level. He held me tightly and then stood back up, lifting me off my feet. He started to skate gently around the rink. I carefully wrapped my legs around his waist while he skated around, occasionally doing small spins, changing to skate backwards. His eyes never left mine. It was one of the most erotic and sexiest things that has ever happened to me, and my whole body was yearning for him in a way that was still unfamiliar and scary. I love you so much, Angel, he whispered. I smiled. My insides were bubbling with happiness and passion. He was driving me crazy. I wanted him and needed him. As I looked into his beautiful blue eyes, I could see all of the love for me shining through, and it made my heart beat way too fast. Suddenly, the realization hit me like a truck. I loved him too. Maybe yet I'd always loved him. I wasn't sure. He had kind of crept up beyond my defenses and wormed his way into my heart, but I had always refused to look at him that way. He made me feel safe, wanted, needed, and special. I didn't ever want to let him go. I loved him like crazy more than anything. He was the thing that I needed out of life. Not in the skate. Yes. 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 Cliche as it is. Yes. That is what is currently happening. I opened my mouth to tell him I loved him too, but he spoke first, cutting me off. Let's go for dinner, he suggested, skating off the ice rink and setting me down on a bench. He got down on his knees and took off my skates for me. I just watched him as he did it, unable to keep the smile off my face. Was this boy really mine? How did I get so lucky? After we got our shoes back on, we drove to a little Italian restaurant. Italian food. I love Italian food. I love Italian food. Give me the pasta and the pizza and the flatbread. Garlic bread. That's not necessarily like Italian, but give me it. I feel like she was clinging to him. Her skates will be digging into his back. Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. After we drove to a little Italian restaurant he said made the second best lasagna in the whole world. Second best? I asked, laughing. Yeah, your lasagna kicks ass, he stated, holding my hand tightly as we followed the waiter to the table. You do know that you've got me now and you can stop with the compliments, I teased, laughing. He grinned and shook his head, rolling his eyes like I was being stupid. I like most of that stuff, Ira. I like most of it. I could have some KBBQ all day. The food was good. The restaurant was terribly cute. It had candles. It had candles on each table and was quite romantic. Like I noticed a lot lately, Liam was extremely fun to be around. There wasn't one awkward silence, and I couldn't help but wonder how I didn't know anything about him before we got together. It was probably because the only personality he ever showed me was the asshole side, which actually didn't seem to be part of his character at all. Man, that dude was acting. He was a good actor. I'm just laughing at Brady. He's funny. It's funny. Yeah. Liam, can I ask you something? I asked, too curious. Sure, whatever you want, he shrugged, taking a mouthful of his drink, watching me curiously. Why were you always such a jerk to me? If you liked me all this time, why were you always pushing me over when we were kids and being such a douche to me? You do know that I used to hate you, right? I asked, raising my eyebrows in question. He laughed. You know, there's a thin line between love and hate. Maybe you loved me and didn't realize it, he suggested, grinning. I smiled because that was exactly what I had been thinking earlier. No, I countered. You were a complete ass to me. And most of it was an act, right? So, why did you do it? I needed the answer. It was killing me because I just didn't understand. Jake, he shrugged. I recoiled because that wasn't the answer I was expecting. Jake? I don't get it. He smiled sadly. Jake didn't really want me near you. He beat the crap out of me a couple of times when we were kids for it. He's really protective of you. It was just easier to keep myself away from you if you didn't actually want to be with me. So if I thought I made you want to stay away from me, then I wouldn't have to try as hard, he explained, frowning. Wait, he pretended to be an asshole so I wouldn't want to be with him because of Jake? Damn, that boy. He was a fake tsundere. He was a fake tsundere. He wasn't even a real tsundere. I mean, that's fine. I'm not a huge tsundere fan, but, it's fine. You know. The disgrace. I sighed sadly and shook my head. All those years, Liam, and it just seems like a waste. If you told me maybe just not been so horrible to me, then maybe we could have gotten together for longer. Soon. You know, I always thought you had a split personality, I added, laughing. He laughed too. You did? Why? Well, I always thought of you as daytime Liam, who was an asshole, a jerk, and a man-whore flirt. And then there was nighttime Liam, who was adorable, sweet, and caring. And I always liked nighttime Liam, I admitted. One side of his mouth pulled into a smile. Well, the night was when I had stopped trying to push you away. I decided that since Jake didn't know about it, I could be myself and enjoy my time with you. Just so you know, though, both of my personalities have loved you forever. Pseudo tsundere. How close are we to the end? Okay, you guys, chat, stop distracting me. I gotta finish. My heart melted as a little awe escaped my lips. I reached out. I took his hand, holding it tightly. I wish you told me sooner. I really did hate you at times, I admitted sheepishly. He chuckled. Yeah? Like the time I cut your stuffed bear's head off and threw him in the trash? He asked, laughing. I gasped at the memory of it. I had forgotten about that. Jake had gotten my bear out of the trash and put him back on my bed for me and fixed his head. Yeah, you jerk, I scolded, fighting a smile. You know, I never did that, though, don't you? I just pretended to cut his head off, and I hid it up my sweater. And then I put it back on your bed a couple hours later, he said, still chuckling. No, no way. Jake told me that he got it back for me. I laughed. He shook his head. No, that was one of the many times he kicked my ass. He caught me sneaking into your room that day, and I told him I was going to the bathroom. He said, laughing, shaking his head. I can't believe my brother kicked your ass. That's just too funny. I'm just glad he didn't kill me for dating you. I can hold my own in a fight, but Jake's a damn psycho when it comes to you, Liam frowned, shaking his head slightly, a smile pulling at the corner of his mouth. Well, you better make sure you don't hurt me then, huh? I teased. He nodded. I would never hurt you. Ever. He squeezed my hand gently, looking right into my eyes, his whole demeanor showing the truth of his words. I believed him. I didn't think he would ever hurt me on purpose, but I knew that he would break my heart sooner or later. When he went to college and we were apart, even if he didn't cheat, that was going to hurt dreadfully. Even if we were dating, it would be awful being without him, but now it would be like torture. I pushed the thoughts out of my mind. I couldn't think about it, not until it happened. And even though we could get through it, I loved him enough to wait for him. I just hoped that he would feel the same in 4 months' time when all of the college skanks were throwing themselves at him, and I was a 3-hour drive away. Right then, are we ready to go? Liam asked after I had eaten a massive piece of chocolate cake all to myself. I nodded, and he threw some money on the table, holding out a hand to help me up. I grinned. You know, you're shaping up to be the best boyfriend in the world, I said happily. I love it when you call me that, he sighed contentedly, and wrapped his sweater around my shoulders as we walked out into the cold night. I gripped a hold of his hand, not wanting to let go. As we got to the car, he opened the door for me. Such a gentleman, Liam, I teased. I watched him walk around to the driver's seat. He was just so handsome, and he was mine. I couldn't help but smile at that knowledge. I'd never dreamed I would ever have anything like this with a boy. In the past, whenever I thought I'd be dating, it would scare the life out of me because I couldn't even let people touch me. Yet all the time I had had a guy who was in love with me, who held me, who kept me safe every night, and I didn't even know. How could I have been so stupid? When we got back to my place, it was only 8 o'clock. Jake wouldn't be home for another hour, so we had the house to ourselves. Come here. I want to talk to you, I said, pulling him toward the sofa. He looked a little worried and nervous. I pulled him down next to me, sitting close to him. I could feel the passion building. I knew it wouldn't be long before I would be ready to take things further with him. I had never felt like this before, although we had only been together for a few days. I had known him forever. I trusted him like no one else, and I knew he wouldn't hurt me. I wasn't worried about him not being able to wait for me because I could see in his eyes he would wait as long as I wanted. That confidence in him was pushing me forwards. If I doubted he would wait for me, then there would be no way that I would feel like this. I gripped his hand tightly as I just looked at him, trying to find the right words to express my feelings for him. What's wrong, Angel? He asked quietly, frowning, rubbing circles in the back of my hand. Oh, crap. Could I say it? I was so embarrassed. I'd never said anything like this to anyone before. I took a deep breath and willed my voice not to show any nerves that I had felt inside. I love you, Liam, I said honestly. He looked at me, shock clear across his face. His mouth was hanging open, his eyes wide as he took in what I said. I couldn't help but laugh. Okay, but that's not how I imagined your reaction. I winced, waiting for him to say something. He moved closer to me, putting his hands on my shoulders as he pushed me back gently, guiding me to lay back on the sofa as he hovered above me. You love me? Seriously? He asked, shock leaving his face to be replaced by excitement. I nodded, felt my cheeks heat up. Yeah. He laughed and kissed me passionately. When he pulled away, his eyes were sparkling with happiness. Thank God, I thought you were going to dump me or something. You look so serious. I thought you didn't want to be with me, he said, shaking his head, grinning. I laughed. You did? That's why you looked so nervous? I asked, giggling. Say it again, he whispered. I wrapped my arms around his neck and pulled him closer to me. His mouth was so close to mine that our lips brushed as we spoke. I love you, Liam James. I whispered. I love you too, Amber Walker. He kissed me, hard, and I couldn't help but kiss him back with the same intensity. I ran my hands up his back and gripped the bottom of his t-shirt, pulling it over his head and trailing my fingers down his chest, just marveling at how flawless he was. His hands were roaming over my body hungrily. He gripped the bottom of my top, starting to pull it up slowly, as if he were waiting for some sort of reaction. I know. I felt the love for him bump up another gear because of how thoughtful and patient he was with me. I smiled against his lips, and he pulled away, looking at me curiously. Okay? He asked, concern coloring his voice. I nodded and pushed him back so I could sit up. I gripped my top and yanked it off over my head, throwing it to the floor. He was just watching me in shock. I pulled him back to me, kissing him deeply. His hands were everywhere while we made out. He didn't do anything I didn't want him to do. It was perfect and sweet. An incredible end to an incredible date. After a while, he pulled away and laid next to me, and we talked happily for a while. At 9, he sighed. Jake's going to be home soon. Maybe we should get dressed, he suggested, looking a little reluctant as his fingers trailed over my bra and stomach. I nodded. Yeah, I don't think he'd be pleased if he came home and found out that you had seen me without my top on. I agreed with mock horror. He laughed and sat up, grabbing my shirt from the floor and passing it to me, kissing me again tenderly. When we were both fully dressed again, we sat watching TV until Jake came home. I couldn't keep the smile off my face. Liam loved me, and I loved him, and everything was perfect. When Jake finally came home, the boys played on the Wii while I did my homework. At 10, he went home to change clothes and to see his parents for a half an hour before he would sneak through my window tonight. I could barely contain my excitement at being with him again. So how are you two getting on? Jake asked curiously when we were on our own. I grinned happily. Really good, actually. Thanks for not freaking out or hurting him or anything, I replied, grimacing at the thought. He smiled sadly. That's okay. Just be careful. He's a player. I don't want you to get hurt. He looked at me worriedly. He was always overprotective, but I guess growing up the way we did, he had always felt that he needed to protect me from our father. So I guess that urge never left, even after our father did. I smiled and shook my head. He won't hurt me, I stated confidently. He laughed. Such confidence in a guy who's never managed to hold down a girlfriend before, he mused, shaking his head. Jake, Liam's a great guy. He won't hurt me. He loves me. He sighed and nodded. I know he does. He frowned, disapprovingly as he said it. I had the feeling Jake wouldn't have approved anybody I brought home with because he couldn't let go of his overprotective instincts toward me. He had always been the best brother a girl could ask for. So, do you need me to talk to me about Dad or anything? He asked, wincing as he said the word Dad. I don't want to see him, I said quietly. He nodded and slipped his arm around my shoulder. Okay, then we won't see him. He rubbed my back soothingly. He looked at me worriedly as if he thought I was going to have another panic attack like I had had last time we spoke about him. You can see him if you want to, I muttered. I didn't want to stop Jake from seeing him if he wanted. He laughed humorously. Actually, I need to see him, he shrugged, and my heart sank because I didn't want my brother anywhere near that abusive tyrant. Okay, well, if that's what you want, I trailed, feeling my eyes swim with tears. Jake pulled back and looked at me sadly. I don't want to see him, Amber. I want to kill him, he corrected. That's literally a good job, Mega. He's like, I don't want to see him. I want to kill him, he corrected, shrugging casually. I chuckled and slapped his shoulder, praying he was only joking. That bitch ain't joking. That bitch ain't joking. Jake smiled sadly. I promise I won't let him hurt you, not ever again. He bent and kissed the side of my head gently, his whole body tense. I knew Jake always felt guilty that he didn't do something sooner. I don't think he'd ever forgive himself for it, but it was an irrational belief. None of it was his fault, yet he took all the blame for not ending before it did. Sometimes I think he forgot that he went through it too. He was only ever worried about me. He never seemed to accept that he probably got hurt twice as much as I did because he was always protecting me. It was like he forgot he was a child at the time too, and that he couldn't do anything anyway because he wasn't strong enough. You know, you're the best brother in the world, don't you? I told him, smiling happily. He nodded, smirking at me. Yeah, I know, he replied cockily, making us both laugh again. I sighed as the exhaustion crept over me. I'm going to bed. Night, Jake. I kissed the top of his head as I went to my room, locking the door behind me out of habit. I put on my pajamas, and just as I was about to fall asleep, I heard my window open. I smiled happily as Liam climbed into bed behind me, wrapping his arms around me. Hey, you, I mumbled sleepily. He kissed the back of my head gently. Hey, yourself, he replied as I snuggled back against him. I love you, Liam, I grinned as I said the words. It just got easier and easier each time. I love you more, Angel. I sighed and closed my eyes, drifting off to sleep, safe and warm, wrapped in his embrace. All right. That's it. That's it, fam. We done did it. We done did it. We done did it. That's the end for today's stream. Let's go ahead and do that and then bring this back like that. Yeah, exactly. It ended with her going to sleep, which is what you guys will be doing here really soon, hopefully. But I will still be raiding into somebody. Let me make sure. Thank you for the late stream, Azura. Of course, of course. Yeah, I'm going to get a little snack. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to get a little snack. But I'm looking right now. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh no. All right. It looks like we're going to raid in a polo. Just because he is a very good friend of the channel. We love him dearly. I actually got to see him yesterday. He got to come to the show, so it made me very happy. But we're going to go ahead and make sure that we got this going on. Exactly. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in with the raid. So I'm going to get the raid message copy and pasted here. Give me a second. All right, here we go, you guys. There's that raid message. We're going to raid into Polo. He is playing Overwatch 2 right now. Polo is a very comfy, cozy streamer. He's playing Pew Pew games right now, but he's very friendly. He's very wholesome for the most part. But yeah, he's a really good friend of mine. So let's make sure that we give him all the love and all the support. But before we get wind down here, guys, I did want to say, just like I was saying earlier, I'm going to be trying to take care of my mental health most importantly this week. And that is, thank you very much, Fancy. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you were able to be here most of the time. I hope that everybody is taking care of themselves because it's really important. So that includes drinking water. Make sure that we're eating our food, okay? And make sure we're getting all the sleep because it's really, really important, you guys, okay? Don't overextend yourself. It's not good for you. And above everything else, you guys, stay magical, okay? Let's say hi to Polo. Bye-bye.